Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Tom Sawyer Show here on HBC TV 25. We're brought to you by Wellington's Pub and Grill. I'm Justin Barrientos alongside head coach Tom Sawyer. And Tom, congratulations on the win this weekend. A come-from-behind win. So first, just your overall thoughts against Northern State this week.
Well, it just felt great to win on the road. It's tough to do that in this league, and I don't care who you're playing. It's a long bus trip. We had a really good trip. It was fun, and we won the game. And yeah, we did come from behind, but I don't think there was ever a doubt that we were going to find a way to win the football game. But we're still learning. We're young, and that gets exposed occasionally. But our kids play hard, and I was really happy with the effort. And got back on the bus after the game. It sure makes the trip back home a lot shorter after a victory.
Well, after doing all these interviews with you and other coaches, I know that even after a win, there's some things that kind of stew in your head a little bit. What are some of the things that need to be cleaned up coming into this week?
Well, I talked Sunday a lot about just little things. Everything from the way we walked in the hotel to the way we got on the bus to selecting our roster to all of those things were a bit disjointed. And so really focusing on, getting everything right. And then that, ends up being better performance. And that's what we're after, is the highest level of performance we can get. And so I'm trying to get the kids to understand all the distractions that we have, even made very subtle. And not one is a problem, but 20 of them is. And so we're working on that, but that's a thing from inside the game and outside the game. I want our kids to continue to grow in that area, and the maturity of our football team will start showing up.
All right. Well, it sounded like, looking at the stats and looking at the highlights, that some things are cleaned up, some things maybe still a problem. Penalties have gone down a little bit, only 5 penalties for 50 yards this week. Well,
if you look at one part of it is the officials that we have. Justin Ingles is the head referee, and he's a very good one. He's a very good basketball official too, and they've done national championship games. We had him at Wayne State, and there wasn't any penalties in that game either. So sometimes it goes by the officiating crew. These guys let everybody play. They don't call any holding and those kind of things, so you might just play along. But they are very good, and for the most part, I respect the way that they work. So that's part of that. But we have been working on it as well, and I think we have cleaned up, especially on our special teams. And we got such explosive return kids. Even with Jake blew out, Isaiah Hall did another great job. Tanner Grant and Elliott Cox, those kids that are back there are fantastic. And so you look at not putting us in bad situations when we have big plays, and we did a much better job of that this week.
Well, since you went to special teams, we'll continue with that. Isaiah Hall had 3 punt returns for 100 yards. It's just the 9th time in Winona State history that a punt returner has had 100 or more yards in one game. I saw some of his returns. He's just elusive. He just makes people miss.
Yeah, he's really fast. In fact, he's probably even more elusive than Jake. Jake just is a fantastic return guy. Isaiah is just a natural guy, and he's now figuring out because he's got more attempts. But he brought 2 balls past the 50-yard line, brought 1. He fumbled the first one of the game. But he is such a weapon back there that now people, when the ball goes up, we're thinking touchdown. In fact, one time I just said, get the PAT team ready because I think he's going to take one back. And it's just fun to watch him. He's exciting. He's electric, and he wants to be really good at it, and that's something that he's starting to prove.
All right, let's go back to the offense then. Eric Berth had a pretty good game. He had a long 60-plus yard run, I think, which was very interesting because it looked like the Northern State defense was playing the run. Everybody was up. They didn't have anybody back. Berth gets through that first line, and then he was just gone. Yeah,
and he's obviously very exciting back when he gets it all going. And in that particular play, our offensive line fit it perfectly. When all the guys do it right, there's only one guy left, and the one guy left that you're talking about didn't have a chance. Yeah. And then it's just off to the races. And Eric's a fast guy. He almost got caught. He got tackled on about the goal line. So we pick on him about that a little bit. But big game. He had 2 touchdowns in the game, and really excited for him. We didn't get him in the game, here at home last week, but he'll be a presence in the next few games as well. He's kind of back. He's healthy, and he wants to do well as well.
Can I ask about the running back? It's kind of like a carousel. Sometimes it's Santiago Lloyd that gets the bulk of the carries. Berth had, I think, maybe 5 or 6 carries. He runs for 2 touchdowns. Javian Roebuck gets a bulk of the carries. Is it kind of feel? Is it kind of what you see in the defense that decides who's going to get the bulk of the carries?
No, I don't care about the defense. It's about who's hot. And, they all have different traits. They're also dinged up a little bit. So I'm trying to, they're so equal in ability. They all have different, good sides, bad sides, kind of a thing. But it doesn't matter who's out there. They all have the ability to do the job. And so the guy that's hot in the game is the guy that's going to get the bulk of the work. And Javian has that extra see-you-later speed that the other two don't. And Eric's fast. He went to 100. I don't know how many times in the state track.
Right.
But and Sam's just a workhorse. But Sam dinged his shoulder up a little bit, and Javian was dinged up earlier in the year, and then Eric had an ankle issue. So we're trying to keep them all healthy. So later in the game, and it showed up again this week, later in the game, we have healthy backs that have strong legs, and they're ready to go when it matters most.
All right, receivers, Isaiah Franzen had a good game, over 100 yards receiving. Tyler Anderson, one of our guests today, also had a pretty good game. Talk about the receiver corps this week.
Well, we have a really good group of guys there, and you mentioned two of our top guys, and Tanner Grant had a touchdown as well, and so you start looking at those guys. Overall, as a group, they're really one blocking their tail off, and then two, we got big play potential. And I think Tyler was kind of the possession guy this week, and we had a couple balls that got dropped, and we had another probably 200 yards in total offense. So Owen threw the ball better. It was a windy day. He didn't have his best game, but he played well enough. And but that receiver corps, it's tough to play against us because we got 6 or 7 guys that can catch football.
Are interceptions at all concerning? I know that there have been a couple every game, and that just happens in the game of football. But does that start to become a concern?
Yeah, it's always a concern. Turning the ball over at all. We turned the ball over 3 times, and you're playing against a team that's you feel like you should beat, and then you give them 3 extra possessions, and they got an onside kick against us. That's 4 possessions that we had to try to overcome, and that's a difference of scoring 21 points and maybe scoring 40. So we have to overcome that. He has to make better decisions on the ball. He was underthrowing the ball. I think, a week before he overthrew a bunch. He gets all juiced up and he overthrew a bunch. This week he tried to back off, and then the wind. And he doesn't have enough experience yet to make those adjustments, but he's learning on the go. But we still trust him wholeheartedly. And, when he puts it on your hands, you got to go catch it because confidence is key. And so when we had a couple balls that got dropped that are deep balls into that crosswind, it was kind of a really kind of a southeast wind across the field, and the balls are going to drop, the balls are going to sail, and he's got to learn how to handle that wind a little bit better. All
right, defense, you did get 1 interception from Mario Gale. It was a tip ball. He was right place, right time. But he's kind of been in the right place, right time all season. Yeah,
he's acting like he's been around a long time, and he's only a sophomore. So he is making a bunch of plays. He's got 3 picks now, I believe, and the guys around him. Isaiah Hall played very, very well, and in that secondary. And the thing is about him is that he's now become the leader back there. When we don't have the starters back there with him, so he's a guy that everybody's leaning on. He's handling that role very, very well.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the injury situation because you've been battling that all season long. How do you look coming into the homecoming game against Mary?
Well, I always cringe when I go to the training room on Sunday because you never quite know. But during the game, we had no issues. So I think we just had the basic bumps and bruises this week. Jake Blue had surgery this week, and Nick Pridgeon had surgery this week, and so guys are starting on their healing process. But most of those guys aren't going to be back. But nothing new, so we should go into this week the same crew we had last week, which is quite a bit different from the first week.
Right.
But it is what it is, and our guys are starting to play better that are around those guys that left, and I'm excited to see us continue to grow.
All right, last question this segment. It's homecoming against Mary. Kind of your thoughts on the game coming up this week?
Well, I'm just really excited for our guys. I'm pushing them pretty hard right now about doing all the little things right, and they're probably sick of me by now, but I'm really pushing to have that complete football game, and that's hard to do when you got a lot of different lineups. But our guys are realizing that, and they're working hard for that. It's also a little homecoming for a couple of our former coaches. Coach Holenka and Coach Splon were on our staff the last couple of years, and they're both now there on their defensive staff. So we'll be looking at ourselves a little bit in the mirror because I know they run a lot of the same principles that we run. But so that'll be fun to see them and their families back here. But it's a day of celebration for championship teams: 64, 68, 73, 83, 93, 98, 03, 08. I mean, all those guys, a lot of those will be back, and then we get to celebrate Derek Seek going in the Hall of Fame as one of the best linebackers to ever play here.
Going to fit everybody in the stadium. Plus, the crowd has been really good the last couple of weeks.
We have a stadium problem, and it's a nice problem because we're only going to continue to get better here over the next few years. So we talk about it all the time when I always plug our stadium fundraising, but it's true. I mean, we're going to have these big games, and we don't have enough place for all the people that really want to be part of our game day experience.
All right. Well, we didn't talk a lot about defense, but we'll take a break. Carter Duxbury will be our guest when we come back right after this.
With so many new items on the menu at Wellington's Pub and Grill, you're in for some tough decisions. 6 different salads, homemade soups, huge wraps, juicy steaks, the Wells' own smokehouse ribs, and as always, the best burgers in town. See, we told you it wasn't going to be easy. Log on to wellingtonspubandgrill.com for daily lunch and evening specials. With so many choices for lunch and dinner, you can never come to this well too often.
I do all my shoe shopping at Rogan's because I know I'll find what I'm looking for and save. You can count on great service, a huge selection, the best name brands, the second pair is half price, and one more thing, a choice in how to save. I can get my second pair half price now, or just save my receipt and come back anytime and get my next pair at half price. Rogan's makes savings easy.
Selection, service, name brands, and the second pair is half price. Visit online at roganshoes.com.
And welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show here on HBC TV 25. We're brought to you by Wellington's Pub and Grill, and Carter Duxbury joins us. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
We didn't, like I said, we didn't talk a whole lot about defense in the opening segment, but for your thoughts on the defense. Obviously, there's been a lot of injuries. You started 6 games last year. You've been in the starting lineup this year. Talk about what it's like to try to fill all those different pieces on defense.
Well, our defense has been tested very well with the injuries we've had. Our leaders, Nick Pridgeon, Michael Gomez has been hurt. So the young guys have actually had to step up, and I think we've been doing that. Like for the D-line example, one of our ends, our backup end, is actually a redshirt freshman, true freshman this year. And he's been stepping up, playing well, and that's what it is. It's just a bunch of young guys stepping up when their name's called, and I think we're doing pretty well.
Carter, we talk a lot about the defense and on a daily basis about pressuring quarterbacks and trying to maintain and keep the quarterback in. And that quarterback last week was a guy who didn't throw it great, but he took off, and all of a sudden he became their main runner because you guys did such a great job on the road. How difficult is it in this league to contain quarterbacks?
It's really tough, especially with a very athletic quarterback like number 4 was. So right away we were thinking speed, we can beat these guys with speed on the edge. And when we did that, he would just step up and run out, and that caused some issues, but we fixed it. We ended up working like more of a bowl, so then you could play both gaps, and that's how we contained him in the pocket the second half and held him to less rush.
Yeah, I'll ask you one more and get back to Justin, but you went through a major injury as well, and how difficult is that? One, just getting through the injury, but then getting through an injury while you're trying to figure out how to go to school all at the same time. Yeah. How difficult it really is.
It's very hard because an injury is the worst thing that's what the athletes dread, and to have to go through that all last fall and in the spring. I was just ready to get back, and I was fortunate enough to be able to play this year. I didn't think it was going to happen, and I'm very glad I was able to.
Awesome.
So what was your injury, and what was the rehab process like?
Last November, I broke my foot the second to last game, and I was able to play with it. But then immediately after, me and the doctor decided to not have surgery because I'd be back for spring ball. And so then I went on no weight bearing. I was in a scooter for many months until late February, March, and I was able to start running and start walking, and I was very excited to get back into it. First day of spring practice, I re-broke it, re-injured it, and I was back in the boot. And then the first day of summer running, it felt good again. I was running, and I re-injured it the first drill. And so I was very upset. I had to have surgery. It was our last resort. And I thought for sure I was going to redshirt. I thought my year was done. And I actually got the cast off the Friday before camp started that Monday. And I was able to start walking, start practicing, and slowly got into it. And now I've been playing ever since. So. Very exciting.
Now, if I remember right, when you came in last year, you were talking about you had thumbs that were hurt and you had to play with casts. So how do you have to change your game a little bit to play with injuries?
It's tough. The hand, I broke my right thumb. I wasn't able to grab. I was not able to punch very well. You pretty much just have to start another technique and figure out a way to put yourself in the right position at the right time. And me and Coach have been working at that, and the foot hasn't been giving me any issues, so I'm able to just go now, so it feels good.
Homecoming week, and we brought you and Tyler, I guess, last year too. I didn't realize that until this morning, but talk about what it means to you and your family, because there's other people in your family that have degrees from this place.
My mom, my grandma, my grandpa, my aunt, I mean everybody, my brother and my sister have been here. So I think most of them are coming back for the game, and they're excited, and it's just Winona State's been in our blood, in our family, and I'm glad to be able to be here.
Yeah, awesome.
So you've been through the homecoming experience a couple of years. How has it changed from your redshirt year to last year when you were playing to now what you expect for this year?
Redshirt year, it was more of I can be in the hype, have fun with it. We were giving out pizza my redshirt year, wearing our jerseys, all the excitement. And then last year and this year, it's more of I'm just focused on the game on Saturday. The rest is just noise. I got to focus, watch film, stay in the playbook, and be ready for the game on Saturday.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in today. And good luck this week.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a break here on the Tom Sawyer Show. When we come back, Tyler Anderson will be our guest right after this.
With so many new items on the menu at Wellington's Pub and Grill, you're in for some tough decisions. 6 different salads, homemade soups, huge wraps, juicy steaks, the Wells' own smokehouse ribs, and as always, the best burgers in town. See, we told you it wasn't going to be easy. Log on to wellingtonspubandgrill.com for daily lunch and evening specials. With so many choices for lunch and dinner, you can never come to this well too often.
Sledhead 24/7. If it happens on the snow, find it here first. Snowmobile destinations, sled evaluations, lifestyles, aftermarket and product reviews, highlighting all aspects of racing, and get the inside coverage on the AMSOIL Championship Snowcross. Sledhead 24/7, where we are everything snowmobile.
Elevate your HBC TV experience with the latest technology to hit your whole home entertainment system. Record up to 6 programs simultaneously and save up to 350 hours of your favorite shows. Pause a program you're watching in one room and pick right up where you left off in another. Video on demand, wireless set-top boxes and mobile device streaming, apps including Alexa, Netflix, YouTube, and more. Call 888-474-9995 to learn more or visit hbci.com/elevate today.
And welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show here on HBC TV 25. We are brought to you by Wellington's Pub and Grill. We're going to talk offense now. Tyler Anderson joins us. Thank you for being back here on the show.
It's good to be here.
Let's talk a little bit about the game last week against Northern State. As I said, during our recap, you had a pretty good game, 4 catches, 79 yards, along with 36. Tell us a little bit about what it's like getting more involved in the offense this year.
It's been a lot of fun, just being another year in the program. Things are really starting to slow down for me. Just the game, feeling more comfortable, more confident in myself every single week out there. So I would say that's a big part of it, and I would just say that just confidence, I guess, again, is the biggest thing for me. Being comfortable out there, like I said, is really important for me. So.
You're playing out with Owen. I know he's one of your close friends. You guys spend a lot of time together, and how important does that become when you guys are running routes and timing and all those things? And really, what do we have to do to continue to find ways to get more explosive plays in the passing game?
I would just say that, like you said, the chemistry between me and Owen, we live together. He's been a really good friend of mine since I met him here 3 years ago now. We both stay here all summer and work out together, run routes, and I would say that we have a really good connection. Like, he knows where I'm going to be. I know where he's going to put the ball. We have a lot of confidence in each other when it comes to that sort of thing. So just having that trust with a quarterback is key, because especially on timing routes and things where, if it might not be exactly open, but if he knows I can put this ball a little bit inside and I'm going to run into the window, just having that connection and trust with him is really key, because just knowing how to work the defense and where he wants me to be is a really big part of it.
Kind of off that same question, you've had a lot of different quarterbacks over the last couple of years, because last year it was Darren and then it was Owen at the end of the year. And then in your redshirt year, you're watching Jack out on the field. And the year before that, you're in high school, and so you're looking at a different type of quarterback. So how difficult is it to kind of switch and adapt to a different style of thrower?
It's not super challenging. I would just say Owen looks at things a lot differently than Darren did. He's starting to get a lot more comfortable back there in the pocket, and he kind of looks at both sides of the field, and he's getting better every single week. We're all young. He's the same grade as me, and he didn't play a whole lot last year until the end of the year. So I would just say that him being comfortable in the pocket, and I didn't play a ton with Darren, and I didn't play at all with Jack because I was a redshirt. So just my first year of playing a lot with Owen is nice, because we're both learning at the same pace and we're at the same spot in our careers. So we're learning together. We're out there might make a few mistakes, but we're trying to do the best we can, and I think we're doing a good job of it. So.
All right.
You know, you've been coming to these games since I think the day you were born, probably, with your family, and since it's homecoming week, you know, we talked to Carter about his family connection, and why don't you just share how deep your connection is and what that means to your entire family this weekend?
I had a lot of family that have gone here, both my parents, both my aunts, one of my uncles, my grandpa, my grandma, and then a lot of other just like close family friends. I had a coach in high school who played here, and just a lot of people that have won here, and a lot of them played sports here too. So it's just, like he said, I've been coming here forever. I think there's a picture somewhere, I'm probably 2 years old at a game, and it's just really big for my family, though I'll be out here tailgating in the parking lot, and my dad will probably be there at 9 o'clock, so he can't wait. He's all excited, so it's a really big, every week's big, but it's a really important week for my family. I got a lot of people that are going to be here, and it should be fun.
You have a couple of really good memories growing up coming to Winona State games?
I would say the thing I have like etched in my memory was a night game against Carson Newman. I think it was probably 2008, and it was the first time I ever saw Rayon Simmons play in person, and it was just incredible. I just have that. I was on the sidelines, and that's always in my head, and just watching him play in that night. We beat them at home, and they're a very highly ranked team, and that was a really fun night, and I remember that a lot.
That picture just came up someplace on Facebook or something.
Yeah, I think Coach Jack Nelson dug it up. It was me and Rayon from 10 years ago. So.
All right, well, we appreciate you coming on here, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Tom Sawyer Show. We'll talk more homecoming as Tracy Hale joins us right after this.
Stay up to date with Winona Area Public Schools by watching Making the Grade here on HBC TV 25, presented by Cost Cutters. Join me, Superintendent Rich Dahman, each month for interviews with administrators, district staff, and students. Tune in to Making the Grade Monday through Friday here on HBC TV 25, brought to you by Cost Cutters of Winona, located in the professional building in the Winona Mall Annex.
With so many new items on the menu at Wellington's Pub and Grill, you're in for some tough decisions. 6 different salads, homemade soups, huge wraps, juicy steaks, the Wells' own smokehouse ribs, and as always, the best burgers in town. See, we told you it wasn't going to be easy. Log on to wellingtonspubandgrill.com for daily lunch and evening specials. With so many choices for lunch and dinner, you can never come to this well too often.
And welcome back to HBC TV 25. It's the Tom Sawyer Show, brought to you by Wellington's Pub and Grill. And we've been talking homecoming all show long. Tracy Hale joins us from Alumni Relations. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, we tend to think about football because obviously it's a football show, but homecoming is a university-wide and it's a week-long celebration. Can you tell us a little bit about what homecoming means to Winona State?
Well, homecoming really is about coming home, and we really want people to come back to Winona to celebrate what it meant when they were here. So we have lots of events going on. Throughout the week, we have a lot of student events going on campus. I know where they've got a magician or hypnotist, they've got movies and popcorn and things like that, a bonfire going on. And then towards the weekend, we get a little bit more, our alumni come back. Thursday, we have an all-day event, the College of Business Alumni Engagement Day. We're inviting alums to come back and speak in classrooms, participate, and find out what the Create Your More logo is all about in the College of Business. That's Thursday. Friday, we invite our class of 1968 to come back to celebrate their 50 years of graduating from Winona State. There's also a 50-year reunion of Sheehan Hall. Sheehan Hall has been open for 50 years. There's Cal Family Boat Tours. We have our Athletic Hall of Fame Friday evening. And then there are other groups that come in. We've got some sororities. We've got the wrestling alumni. We've got football alums. Lots of championship years coming back for football. So a lot of celebrations going on Friday. Saturday, of course, we have our 11th annual Warrior Waddle 5K down at the lake. That starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. We have our parade, which is at 10 a.m., which is a big hit for everybody. And that goes on Huff Street from Broadway down to Mark Street, and that starts at 10 o'clock. From there, we hope everybody will transition over to our Warrior Game Day experience, which starts right after the parade on Johnson Street. And hopefully I'll get to tell you a bit more about that. Yep. And then we have, of course, have our football game at 2 o'clock. And then we transition into some more celebrations. And then we also have a Distinguished Alumni Award banquet on Saturday evening at the Tau Rotunda. So lots of things going on, needless to say.
That's amazing that you rattled all that off. You have that all set?
Yeah, I just want to go back. I'll go back to the game day experience. We talk about it just about every week because it's been kind of one of those dreams of all of ours, but especially ours on the football side of the campus, where it's truly become an event, a Winona event. And just, Tracy, would you share with how many different groups are involved with the planning that we go to every Thursday morning? Yes. We've been meeting now for 2 years. And just tell the people who's really all involved in putting that on.
Sure. So this is really a university event. It is spread from our facilities people that have to set up tables and chairs and garbage cans to our student life, our alumni relations. We've got campus security involved, we have athletics involved, we have housing and residence life involved. So it really is a whole university committee. So within that committee, we decide on lots of different things that happen and the policies and procedures and things that happen on campus and on game day. And one of my responsibilities is to fill the street. And so I fill the street with vendors, food trucks, community groups that want to be there and participate to get the word out about what they do at their business or their organization. But then they in turn do fun games and give away prizes. We have a zip line, a bounce house, a junior warrior zone for smaller children to come and to celebrate Winona State, really inviting people to come back to Winona and our campus that don't normally come on a regular basis. You don't have to have any affiliation with Winona State to come to game day experience and to enjoy all that we have to offer there. So we have a WSU student zone where we have got 3 70-inch TVs. One of them has got Madden on it, and couches and places for our students to hang out because we really want them to be able to have a spot to be able to hang out on campus during game day. But I think our most exciting part of game day experience is an hour and 5 minutes before the game. We have a police escort comes down Johnson Street, and our streets swell up with people lining the streets, and our team and coach and the cheer team and the dance team all come down the street. And everywhere from little kids giving high fives to all the players as they come down the street to grandmas and aunts and uncles and former teammates. And it really gives you goosebumps, the excitement and the energy that happens when that team comes down the street and the people that are supporting them and behind them. And that in turn is also why so many people come. Our businesses want to be part of this. It's really become kind of a supply and demand. Everybody wants to be part of game day at Winona State, and we're very excited for it.
All right, last question that we have. You kind of hit on it, but I want to make sure that people understand that it's not just Winona State alumni. Even for homecoming, for every home game or for every event that Winona State has, you really want the entire public to be involved.
Absolutely. This is a free event for everybody in Winona and the surrounding communities to attend. And we want people to be able to feel comfortable coming on campus and celebrating Winona State without having there to be an affiliation with. You don't have to have a student there or you don't have to work there. It is open for everybody, and we hope that that word is getting out. The ECFE groups are coming, the MOPS groups are coming and bringing their kids because there are so many family-oriented activities happening at Game Day Experience.
And then Tom, for you, I know that the Game Day Experience has gotten a lot of rave reviews from around. We were talking to Aaron Lynn, the NSIC commissioner, last home game about it, and it's just really grown into what you expected it to be.
Yeah, it is. It's everything we hoped it would be, and probably even more. And I think it'll continue to grow as we have our meetings. We are getting rave reviews, and the biggest one for us is the recruits that are there. We have kids. There's no place that does a homecoming and a game day like we do. I've been to every venue, around the Midwest, and we're as good as many Division I places, and it makes our kids just feel important. But more than that, our families are having a blast sharing time with their kids on our game day. So along with that, even this weekend, we got one of our former players, the lead singer in a band. County Line Drive is playing this weekend right at game day, and he's up there, and he was a running back for us from Winona, Brandon Stanek, just a few years ago.
All right. Well, Tracy, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Tom, good luck at the game this weekend.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us here on the Tom Sawyer Show. We'll see you next week here on TV 25.